video was compiled from a Zoom session with one group of Masters and PhD students participating in the short learning program in research design. The group had to apply phenomenon-based learning and multidisciplinary thinking to identify research themes. The group had to answer the following questions. Which research themes did your group identify? Here, the group had to combine different research questions into 2 or 3 research themes. Secondly, did you become aware of any discipline-specific research topics? Specific topics had to be mentioned. Thirdly, what is the name of your research entity at the NWU? Are the research themes you identified in line with the mission of your research entity? And finally, which research programs in your research entity are relevant to the research themes you identified?
So let's start with group 3. Can you share with us what you did and what you found and so on?
Absolutely. Fantastic. Okay, hi there, everyone. I am going to present on behalf of Group 3, and our phenomena was sustainable development and aging. And we had 7 members in our group. So as a group, following on from Lynn giving us the AOK, so to speak, with the finalization of the group, our group set up a WhatsApp group, and from that we then coordinated our first initial group meeting. And we then also decided we would divide up our time into 2 separate groups of about 60 to 90 minutes each. So in our first meeting, we started with our round of introductions to break the ice, and also then to create context. The group was, I think I can acknowledge the excitement really regarding each of us representing a number of different disciplines. So we have someone from public governance and politics, someone from gerontology, environmental studies, human resources, social psychology, industrial psychology, and clinical psychology. Following on from this, we then had the opportunity to offer suggestions to answer the question, how can we create a safe space in order to optimize our phenomena-based learning experience and essentially to facilitate effective collaboration. And here's the slide that we put together. So our aim was to ensure that each member of our group felt valued, respected, and supported. And this would be achieved through the following actions. So creating a space that's free from harmful criticism and discrimination, actively acknowledging, respecting, and valuing each person's experience, promoting dialogue to really be able to engage in meaningful communication, maintaining cultural awareness, sensitivity, and mindfulness, encouraging shared responsibility and leadership, acknowledging each person's strengths and weaknesses, and also encouraging feedback for continued growth and learning. We then moved on in our second group meeting. We started first and foremost with a checking in with one another, again, to create a common context. And here we shared our experience of preparation for the upcoming group questions. So we shared some of our struggles, some of our successes, and we really just allowed a space to validate and acknowledge one another, as was agreed on in our first initial slide. And this then further facilitated and really enabled some open and meaningful dialogue for defining and discussing the research questions related to each of our disciplines. So here we shared our discipline-related expertise, and then just spend some time brainstorming about the specific themes that were beginning to emerge. So I've put them under each of the disciplines, from clinical psychology, human resources, and so on. So at the bottom, our themes that were starting to emerge, we identified 3 themes, and that was health and well-being, inequalities, and workplace productivity. So in our second question, did we become aware of any discipline-specific research topics? From clinical psychology, it was around well-being and the effects of isolation. Human resources was retirement preparation. Industrial psychology, we had enhanced productivity. Gerontology was active aging. Environmental science, climate change and resilience strategies. Public governance and politics, inequality in the workplace. And social psychology was community involvement. In our following question, should different academic disciplines contribute to the study of the phenomena? So as we moved into this part of our phenomenon-based learning process, really, I guess, as part of the critical evaluation and in line with this question, our feedback from one another was a definite yes. Really, the group indicated that sharing our different discipline-related perspectives about the phenomena was really starting to open up and begin to inform our understanding in a much deeper and more meaningful way. So specifically, we were now really beginning to think more broadly about the phenomena, the way in which we were examining our phenomena, and really starting to gain insight, understanding into the importance of connecting our research specifically to the Sustainable Development Goals, with the purpose of following on from these Sustainable Development Goals, ensuring that older persons are included in development efforts and essentially that they are not left behind. So the 3 Sustainable Development Goals that we identified in line with our themes were the health and well-being, decent work and development, and also reducing inequalities. With regards to this question, are the research themes that you identified in line with the mission of Obtentia? So we identified the mission there to develop and organize knowledge for the optimal expression of individual, social, and institutional potential in South Africa. So our group agreed that firstly, in line with developing and organizing knowledge, we had adopted a phenomena-based learning approach that included sharing expertise from multiple disciplines. Within this context, we were also able then to move out of our silos to acknowledge the complexity of the real-world problems associated with our phenomena and contextualizing this within the diverse realities of Africa, and more specifically within the framework of precarity. And then with regards to the optimal expression of individual, social, and institutional potential, we agreed that our research could contribute through potentially informing policy related to older persons. So whether this be through government, organizational, economic, including improving quality of life for individuals and their communities through facilitating healthier relationships for older persons within both their physical and their social environment. So put differently, really to ultimately support the flourishing of older persons contextualized within the diverse realities of Africa and abroad. And then with regards to which research programs we thought would be relevant to the themes that we had identified. So in line with our 3 themes, we identified 3 research programs that connected with these themes. So the first one was aging and generational dynamics. The second, inclusion, capability and optimal functioning. And the third one being human flourishing in institutions.